Ask Levi, what will you have in 500 years? A Minecraft horror. Yes, Minecraft and horror. They go together like peanut butter and jelly, like Pepsi and milk, like Cheez-Its and Mr. Pibb, like some other fourth thing that I can't quite think of. I mean, Minecraft has been used for horror both officially and unofficially pretty much ever since its inception. The cave noises all collectively made us crap our pants at least once or twice, same with Disc 11 and 13, and don't even get me started on the Enderman. They're a creature not so subtly inspired by the Slender Man, the child-stalking, long-armed, faceless urban legend. We all know that when you look at an Enderman, it opens its mouth and plays a creepy noise before chasing you and attacking. Though as Minecraft has become so mainstream and most of us have played it for at least a decade, I think we've really forgotten how scary the first encounter with an Enderman is, especially if you started playing the game when you were really young. Though the Enderman isn't anything in comparison to the creepy mobs that were added more recently. The Warden is blind, but has an acute sense of hearing and will use it to track you. It's super powerful and durable, and again, it has some creepy noises. Then the next creepy mob that was added was the Creaking, which follows the classic Weeping Angel trope of staying still when you look at it and moving towards you at a rapid succession when you're looking away. But honestly, its design makes it so it really isn't that scary at all. But really, that's just Minecraft horror on the official side. It's way cooler over on the fan side. Of course, your mind likely flutters to the thought of Herobrine, one of the first examples of Minecraft horror. I've always really liked Herobrine. I've always found the original story to actually be really smartly made. Instead of just killing you, he chooses to stalk you and mess with your world. It's classic horror. You're both completely helpless, and you don't know the extent of his power. And also the design is super minimalistic, and it's really terrifying in the right setting. But Herobrine is just the start. Minecraft horror has evolved a lot since then. One really big aspect of Minecraft horror is the ARGs, usually right here on YouTube. Probably one of the more well-known ones is Andrew Gaming 67. It follows the story of a guy touring his old Minecraft worlds that he shared with his friend Chris. However, Chris hasn't been online in a long while. Eventually, he keeps finding weird things in the world, and in the background you can see a strange black figure staring right at him. And one of the weirdest parts is when he finds a file on his desktop, a video that shows the perspective of an unseen figure staring at him, watching his every move. He eventually decides to jump in one of the many wells that Chris built, and it teleports him to a strange brick dimension, and he realizes that he's in way over his head, and he's got more than he's bargained for, discovering a decades-long mystery. I highly urge you to go check out the ARG for yourself, since I really only summed up the first act. There's so much cool storytelling and world building, the acting is top-notch, there's loads of secret videos you can find, and the ARG actually has a soundtrack composed by the creator himself. They're all beautifully sad songs that really hit the mood of the ARG. Again, I highly urge you to go check it out for yourself since it's still ongoing. There's loads of other ARGs too, but the most well-known ones have already been covered by creators way better than I ever could, and a lot of other ARGs are kind of not really scary at all, and also are way too confusing and go way beyond the scope of Minecraft into a save-the-entire-world type plot, which I often find kind of stupid. Now, for what you've probably all been waiting for, it's time I talk about the horror mods. Back in July of 2023, the YouTuber Gargin uploaded a video titled How I Made the Most Terrifying Minecraft Mod, in which he detailed how he made a mod called the Cave Dweller, which was meant to be an answer to the question of what makes the cave noises. I genuinely think that this was and still is a very good mod. The design is creepy, but still adheres to the reality of Minecraft, unlike a lot of other mods. It also has a lot of complex behaviors. It has a variety of different things it can do. It doesn't just mindlessly chase you. However, the most important thing about the mod is that even though the creature is 3 blocks tall, it can crouch to chase you through 2 block gaps, and even crawl to go through 1 block gaps. It's a classic subversion of expectations that can offer for some really good scares. Anyway, needless to say, this video blew the up. Honestly, it was a really fun time on YouTube watching people install it into their mod pack secretly and inviting their friends to come over and play it.
Yeah.
Oh my god! What the is that?
What is that?
What the Also, it spawned the Dweller trend, in which other mod creators took inspiration from this mod to make their own horror mods. However, I feel like a lot of these mods don't have nearly as much thought put into them as the Cave Dweller. They're all way more powerful than you, they're durable as all get out, most of them are faster than you, they play ridiculously loud noises, and often have crappy jump scares, and overall, they're extremely unbalanced and poorly designed, and they all have a similar generic look. There are standouts, however. I give Man from the Fog a pass because it's literally one of the first ones. However, like I said, it's way too fast, strong, and durable, but also it can break down doors, climb, and even break blocks. It's way too powerful. The knocker has a unique design and isn't always trying to kill you. Sometimes it just looks at you. Also, it plays sounds, door knocking sounds, but really realistic ones, so that can sometimes be kind of creepy. The anomaly has a really cool design, has some cool behaviors and some cool effects, and is usually just stalking you, but it also suffers from the problem of being way too powerful. Apollyon adds the Damned, which isn't really that great, but it also has the Infected Villager and some really cool story elements. In Your World is also kind of tropey, and the design for the monster is kind of goofy looking, but I do really like how it uses achievements to kind of talk to you and scare you. And that's it for the Dweller type mods that I actually like. There's some others that I'm kind of indifferent to, but for the most part, I just really don't like a lot of the other ones. They fall into a lot of the same tropes that I mentioned, and are all unbalanced, and they're just bad, I'm just gonna say it. However, Dweller mods don't make up all of the current scene for horror mods. There's two that I actually really want to talk about that are actually really creepy and add some really cool stuff. The first is 000.jar, which adds a load of different creepy events that can happen and some creepy entities. Though as far as I'm aware and in all my experiences, this white smiley guy that spawns and scares you doesn't actually hurt you, which I find really refreshing. The main thing that this mod adds are these corrupted villages that you can find. The houses are comprised of these red static blocks, and there's villagers floating in the air. There's also all these signs everywhere, seemingly left by other players. If you stay here for too long, though, eventually this player with a faceless villager skin will spawn and attack you. However, what's great about this entity is that while it is stronger and more durable than you, it's easy to run away from. That's just good game design. Also, it doesn't play any loud noises and doesn't have a crappy jump scare, which I'd argue actually makes it more scary in a way. There's a lot of other stuff in the mod, but we'd be here all day if I went over all of it. The second mod I want to talk about today has been making its rounds all over YouTube, and you've probably seen it already, and you've probably watched a ton of people play it. But yeah, I'm talking about the Broken Script. It is a very slow burn horror mod, which I'd say greatly benefits it. I've been playing multiplayer with my brother with this mod installed for a while now. It's basically just our main mod pack at this point. So yeah, I'm going to narrate over some of the stuff that I captured in just an hour of recording, so take a watch. The first thing that happened was this pseudo jump scare in which my render distance got cut down and this really creepy and loud noise played. This actually happens a lot, and it can sometimes be scary, but after a while it mostly just becomes an annoyance. We then decided to go exploring, and we found all these creepy structures. There was this redstone torch marked Pitfall to the Void, there was this weird geometry made up of oak logs, and I also saw some more structures off in the distance. However, my exploration was cut short by these black clouds slowly moving towards me. I got too close and found out that it was actually pretty powerful, so I backed up quick. There were these signs with weird markings and this worn down cobblestone house that I wanted to explore, but there was another one of those black cloud entities, so I just booked it. Later, we discovered a cave entrance, and we actually were able to find a sprawling cave system and even a mine shaft. We got a ton of good loot, and even found a diamond vein that had about 15 diamonds in it, and it was also right next to a dungeon at that. We decided to start strip mining near where we found the diamonds in hopes of finding even more, but just a couple minutes into the strip mine, my brother claimed to have heard someone else mining. And yeah, this is actually something that's happened to us before. Sadly, I don't have any footage, but one time when we were strip mining, we thought we had heard someone else mining. And yeah, turns out we did. And a black figure clad in iron armor started barreling toward us, so we just started pillaring up. It was genuinely one of the most terrifying gaming experiences I've ever had, and I loved it for that. So anyway, needless to say, I believed him, so I started mining a staircase up to try to escape the mine. I may be yearning for the mines, but not so much that I want to freaking die. We thankfully escaped and safely brought our loot back to the base. Also, look at my drip, dude. Freaking fire. Later, me and my brother decided to start talking to the creature. We typed hello and it said hi back. We asked who it was and it said it was no. But most terrifying was when I asked if it could see me. This jump scare really got me, and all it used was a lightning bolt and some static. It was genuinely really smart to use the lightning bolt since it makes a sound, but it's not overly loud, and most of all, it doesn't brutalize my ears. Oh, also this message popped up on my screen randomly, and it really creeped me out. Next, I decided to go into creative mode in Another World to try to show off some more random events, but it wasn't letting me use commands, so I looked up how to override this, and someone said to use the command tbs dev mode and the code 2018. Now, this code was actually the code for an older version of the mod, and it would work. However, in the newest version, there's a new code, and the old code actually spawns 1,000 of the same entity, known as Circuit, and it plays this extremely loud noise that absolutely destroyed my ears, all while there's text on the screen, and my FPS turns into seconds per frame because of the extreme amount of entities on my screen. Gave me a good scare, I won't lie, but it also feels a little dangerous and cheap spawning in so many entities at once. Like, if I were running this on a lower power device, I'd worry about like a blue screen or overheating or something. That's far from the worst this mod has done though, as in an older version it was actually able to turn off your PC, which could make it be considered as malware, and this feature actually got it removed from CurseForge, which is why you hear everyone calling it the banned horror mod. Even though that feature has been removed, the mod still features some other crazy things it can do, namely the fact that it can ban you from your own world. Anyway, yeah, that's all that happened, and this was a really good world, and I say it was because sadly, we lost it. It didn't ban us from the world since we turned that feature off in the config, but we tried going to the Twilight Forest and we kept running into that circuit guy, and I died and lost all my stuff. My pickaxe, my super awesome explosive greatsword, my kitted out pump shotgun, my enchanted axe and crossbow, my drip. And for some reason, after he killed me, my brother was able to load into the world, but when I tried to join, both of our games would crash, and now it does this every time we try. And we can't even turn off the broken script now, since it just messes with the whole thing. So we lost the whole world, even though we had so many hours, so many structures, and so much more to do. So, off that depressing note, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like and maybe even subscribe and hit the bell if you're feeling extra courteous. And on that note, I've been Lopala Levi. You've been a great viewer. Shout out to
Chicken Jockey!
And I'm off. See ya.
La 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 lava!